It's Motivational Monday, and today is July 17th. Last week, I was having a conversation with a client. She is a young woman that owns her own construction company. And I said to her, "You've built a very successful company in a very short amount of time. What would you say your biggest attribute or the reason for success?" And she said, it's because she's not afraid to go up to people and have a conversation. I asked her to elaborate, and she told a story that when she was first starting out, she would go to every free SBA class she could find. So she would go online, and any possible, it didn't matter what the topic was, it didn't matter how big the crowd was. She knew that if it was free, she was going to sit in that room and she was going to listen. And most importantly, she was going to connect with others. So I said, so tell me, how did that work out? And what was the ripple that came from the reaction of doing that? And she said, Laura, I observed. I sat back at first and I watched what people did. People would come in and they would sit in a corner and they would be by themselves and they wouldn't actually do anything. They would just sit there with their head down in their phone writing notes. She said, but what I decided to do is I would go up to them and I would introduce myself and I would say, what kind of business do you have? And the conversation would start. We would exchange phone numbers and contact information. And as I learned things, I would share what I learned with them and vice versa. Well, in a few months, all of a sudden, our group became bigger and bigger and bigger. And as one person learned something, they would share information, and we started to be extremely knowledgeable, and we had expertise, and we would refer each other's businesses to other people. So as soon as we heard a project was open, we would say, I know someone that can do that. I know someone that can do that. So this week, what I want you to think about is, how many times have you been afraid to go somewhere because you're by yourself? Or how many times have you gotten up the nerve to go by yourself, but you sit in the back of the room and you don't have any conversations and you don't make contact for the future? I challenge you. It is time to use that fire in your belly to make those contacts, have those tough conversations, get out of your comfort zone, because the only one that is going to make you successful is you. Wishing you all a fabulous week, and we'll see you next week.